Please keep that applause going for Craig Pines. He's here.
So it's early morning, and through my glass door, I catch a glimpse of this weed on my upstairs deck. For the past month, I've ignored it, hoping it would take its own life. But what started out as this cute little plant has grown to this scraggly, hairy monster. It was mocking my manhood, and I couldn't let it go, especially since my wife and kids would be home in a few days. Now, I just have a towel on, and I can't be late for work, so I quickly throw in some pants and garden gloves that I happened to lay out the night before, just in case. Then I open the door, which is oddly unlocked, and head outside. Well, I must have looked pretty intimidating, bare-chested, because this weed put up its sleeves and was like, "I thought you were bluffing. You win. Were the gloves really necessary?" Still, I felt like a gladiator who had beheaded a giant. I wanted to mount this beast on the wall. I wanted to call my wife and tell her the kind of He-Man she married. So with my freckled chest puffed out, I head back inside. But the door is locked. What I didn't realize is, even though it appeared unlocked from the inside with the handle turning freely, it was locked this whole time. I live in suburban Connecticut. Other than deer grazing on plants my wife keeps on replacing, it's pretty quiet. I have no phone, no shirt, no shoes. I'm wearing these bright blue pants for the first time. I'm stuck on this wooden deck 25 feet up, facing a backyard that's surrounded by trees. My wife and kids are 600 miles away at my in-laws. Now I'm staring inside my house with my hands pressed against the glass door, questioning everything. Is this how life ends? Should I have let this weed live? How did this deck get so warped? Then, like a Jewish James Bond, I swing into action. I check the windows, but they're locked. I think about breaking one, but I'm cheap and didn't want to have to buy a new one. I wasn't crazy about climbing through jagged glass and nicking an artery either. I have a low platelet count. Sure, as my mother later suggested, I could have taken off my pants and punched in a window. Yeah, right. I could have also bled to death in my tighty whities. Thanks, Ma. I consider climbing off my roof, shimmying down a downspout, and dropping into a pricker bush. But, I really didn't want to have thorns surgically removed from my butt. Plus, I had these new pants on. Bottom line, I needed to be at work, but I didn't want to kill myself, or worse, end up on the local news. Man kills weed and then himself. On the deck, I was safe. I was breathing. I had a nice triangle area of shade. The funny thing is, I really didn't feel stranded. I wasn't trapped on a snowy mountain peak. I didn't have to eat my own body parts or drink my own urine to survive. Not yet, anyway. It was only about 9:15. It was sunny. The birds were singing. And other than some annoying dry patches of lawn that I noticed as sprinkler mist, I had a beautiful view. If I could just hold out a few hours, I felt like something good would happen. So to pass the time, I bounced an old tennis ball off the roof. Ironically, a Wilson, like in the movie Castaway. I plucked a few gray hairs off my chest that were bugging me. I observed that a dragonfly has 4 wings and can fly backwards. Then, because I have the time, I started overthinking. Wait, what if they don't miss me at work? After all, I'm the old man at the agency. I'm the one that never learned how to make a fresh pot of coffee. I could lose my job. We could lose everything. No siree, Bob. I need to show my coworkers how valuable I was. I get so incensed I accidentally throw Wilson through the railing onto the lawn in front of this deer who's staring me down, chewing our roses as if saying, "What are you going to do about it? Besides, you're about to lose your job to a young gun who knows how to make coffee." The freaky thing is, I was thinking the same thing. So now I'm waving my arms at every passing plane. I'm waving and kind of doing like a half wave because I'm embarrassed that I'm waving. I guess in my heat-stroke mind, I figured they could see my bright blue pants. Well, then I hear my neighbor's lawn guy, finally. So I'm shouting, "Hey, yo, hola," in a low, manly tone, as not to appear too desperate. Well, he doesn't hear me. Now I'm beating myself up. Why had I never developed a really loud whistle? If I could whistle like my wife, I'd be down already. Well, I'm pacing around like a caged animal, and I could picture my coworkers right in my office. So I'm screaming like my life depends on it. Well, I get the attention of my neighbor, actually my neighbor's son, who says, "Ma, I think Mr. Pines is calling you." So she comes over through the pack of Sandra and sees me up there all sunburned and sweaty, and I compose myself in a manly voice. I say, "Help, I'm knocked out." She says, "Darn, I wish you were naked." She's a personal trainer, so I took it as a compliment. Well, I give her my secret garage door code and tell her how to get inside, and she comes up and lets me in. And then I thank her with this big sweaty hug. And then I say to her, "Let me ask you something. How do I get rid of this muffin top?" It was 2:15 in the afternoon. I had been on the deck for 6 hours. The weed was dead, but I was not. I needed to get to the office to learn how to use that coffee maker.